Hey, I'm Creed with HomeBuyer University. So before we take on this big task of creating a podcast for home buyers, is there a need? Is there a demand in the marketplace? So I've researched that, and it seems that podcast viewings or listening is going to grow all the way through whatever forecast time period they've set out, usually through 2024, 2026. And it only makes sense. I mean, with the disintermediation of regular TV and now cable, it only makes sense that people are going online for both their quote entertainment and for some really deep information. And I think home buyers are going to fall into that category. Our buyers between 25 and 50, uh, they don't want to be led by the nose on what to do and how to do it. I think that they're going to be very motivated to get out there by themselves and research and just get some good advice. And whoever gives the best advice kind of wins at this game. So then the next question is, who's doing it? Who's our competition? So I took a look. Apple and Spotify are two leaders, and they make up at least 2/3, if not more, of the marketplace. So Apple's number one, Spotify's number two. And I went ahead and did a search on the Apple podcast for home buyers, and I found a few. And at the end of this recording, I will go ahead and record little snippets of what they have going on. Right now, we're just going to shoot through. This is going to be like the overview, if you will, of who's out there, and then we'll look later at what they're saying. So this lady is still alive. By that, I mean, I found out that 50 to 75% of the podcasts that Apple has regarding home buyers or home buying are defunct. Most of them gave out somewhere between 2018, 2019, and 2022. And you'll discover that in just a minute. So we'll come back and listen to some of her recordings. This guy, so this came up number 2 in a Google search specifically for Apple Podcasts on home buying. And he's been gone for 4 years. This guy's still around, and we're going to go ahead and come back and listen to him in a bit at the end of the recording here. This one looks like it's probably gone. I don't see anything, well, more or less in the last year. So I think it's gone. And again, it was number, 3 or 4 on the list. This one's been gone since 2019. Again, number 4 or 5 on our list of competitors. And so if they're out of business and they're no longer doing this, I don't think they're a competitor. This one's still around. We'll come back and listen to some of the concepts that they're teaching. And what I found is a lot of this stuff is really high level overview. If they talk about real estate and they talk about strategies and they talk about the marketplace, what I'm finding is most of it is nationally based. And with my stuff, where we're heading with HomeBuyer University is very tight. It's going to be Colorado, obviously. And in this case, starting off specifically with Metro Denver. And once you see some of the technology tools that we use here, yeah, you'll quickly understand that this is very specific niche marketing. I mean, we go down to very specific neighborhoods and talk about that, and not in the general sense that you're used to seeing brokers talk about the marketplace. But I'll explain that in a subsequent video, but you will want to watch that because it's pretty cool stuff. Let's go ahead and keep moving down. This guy, again, number 5 or 6 on the Google search, specifically for the top producer of these podcasts, Apple, and specifically for home buying and home buyers. Gone. He's been gone for 3-4 years. Again, this is all on the first page of Google regarding Apple. These guys are still around. We'll come back and listen to a little bit of their stuff shortly. Again, looks like they've been gone for at least a year. Actually 2 years, huh? These guys have been gone for 2 years. Again, all the front page of Google. Oh, we went to an ad. This is NAR. We'll come back around. I know what's going on here. And I guarantee you, NAR is using very big data, national stuff. And of course, it's substantially tainted, preaching to use realtors. In fact, here it is again at the Apple podcast. We'll come back around and listen to it. But we're pretty much running out of steam. There's a lot of stuff. These guys haven't been around for a year. I guess what I'm getting at, it's out of the first 15 or 20 of these things that I found, 3 or 4 of them are still in existence, and most of these have been gone for some time. This one's been gone about a half year. It's been gone for a couple years. It's been gone for a while. Battery only posts maybe once every 6 months. I'm not sure which. Bigger Pockets, of course, that's going to be around. But most of their stuff is talking about hardcore investors and zero down and how to get rich, with rental properties. Again, gone for years. I think that you're getting my point. I'll stop there. And we're going to listen to a few of these at the back end of this. And then I want you to please take a look at the second video that's going to be on this page, because it really exemplifies what we're trying to do here at HomeBuyer University. And from there, you're going to be able to see what your opportunity is. Buyers often have problems they never saw coming, and it's kind of a repetitive thing. And it's you and I will sit down and just talk just like this on a video. And of course, it'll be edited nicely. And you'll get to be the hero of the whole deal. We'll talk about the buyer's problems. And then we're going to talk how to keep it from happening. And then that's going to be out there on the internet forever. Even these guys that have been out of business for 4 years, they're still out there in the top rankings for podcasts in real estate for home buyers. If you put in the generic term real estate, again, you get all the investment models and the zero down things and, get rich quick things and how I own 200 houses in 30 days. And, for stuff that's specifically for buyers, there's very little quality stuff. And we're going to explore that right now. But do watch the second video.
Welcome to the First Time Homebuyer Podcast. My name is Laura Moreno and I am your host. In this podcast, I interview the top real estate professionals in America to understand how to buy your first home the right way. So if you're considering buying your first home, you are in the right place. I am also the founder of HomeFlow, an app that streamlines the home buying experience and that gives you all the tools, education, and resources that you need to buy your first home. To learn more, just go to tryhomeflow.com. And if you want to find a fantastic real estate agent, just go to tryhomeflow.com/agent. And I will personally select the best agents for you and send you the interview questions so that you can talk to them and make sure you are working with the best. Again, just go to tryhomeflow.com/agent. And now, on to the show. First Time Homebuyers Nation, I am Laura Moreno, and I am super excited to bring you our fantastic guest today, Michael LaStella. Mike is a realtor in Bergen County, New Jersey. He loves working with homebuyers to guide them through the process of buying their first home. He is also a husband and father of 2, and when he is not working, he loves traveling with his wife and cannot wait to start taking their kids with them.
What do you do when 4 episodes is not enough to cover all of the predictions for the 2023 housing market? Bonus episode! Yep, we're going to do a bonus episode today because what if there's a recession? A recession to screw this whole thing up, right? And then the predictions are useless, right? Well, let's bonus up and find out. What is up, my How to Buy homies? How is everybody doing? This is David Sidoni, the dude that back in 2019 quit my brokerage after 13 years of seeing you first-time homebuyers get the shaft. And I started this goofy podcast in my living room at 2 and 3 in the morning, much to the chagrin of my family. Still don't know what chagrin means, but they weren't grinning. That's all I know. And now we've become the global phenomenon that is the leading authority serving and guiding you first-time home buyers with the most detailed and comprehensive information you're going to find anywhere. You just have to deal with me and my dad jokes. So if you're not a subscriber, first I have to
Are you looking to buy or sell a home? Wondering where to start? Do you have questions about mortgage and real estate and need honest, accurate answers? Well, you're in the right place. Welcome to The Educated Homebuyer with expert real estate broker Jeb Smith and certified mortgage consultant Josh Lewis, where we discuss everything you need to know to buy right, borrow smart, and build wealth through real estate ownership.
What makes a property fall out of escrow, and how do you make sure it doesn't happen to you? That's what we're going to dive into in today's episode. We're going to talk about things that happen during the escrow process that makes homes fall out of escrow. Josh, in my experience, when a home has been sitting on the market for, say, an extended period of time, longer than the normal time frames, buyers think one of two things. Either there's something wrong with the property or it's overpriced. And neither of those actually have to be true because properties can go in and out of escrow for various reasons. And that's really what we're going to focus on today. What I mean by that is you can have a property that's been sitting on the market for, say, 100 days when the average market time in that market is, say, 25 or 30 days. And it looks like, wow, there's definitely something wrong with that property. But what you might fail to realize is there are reasons that home could have gone into escrow and fallen out, reasons that home is sitting that you might not be aware of. And that's really what we're going to dive into in today's episode, Josh.
Jeb, you and I both get this all of the time for the last 6-8 months. Hey, I have been looking on Redfin. I've been looking on Zillow, and I'm seeing a lot of more homes falling out of escrow. This is really a different market. And what I want to challenge on that thought, not saying that we didn't witness that. We absolutely did over the last year, but we were coming off a 2-year period where this market was so tight that every buyer, after writing 22 offers and multiple bidding situations that got an offer accepted, very few of them were willing to walk away from deals, even though in a normal market they may have. So what we're seeing now is more normal. Deals can fall apart for a million different reasons, oftentimes no fault of the seller.
Are you looking to buy or sell a home?
Be a big problem for many first-time home buyers out there because many are priced out of the market because of rising rates, house prices not dropping nearly as much as many out there would have liked coming out of what we just saw over the last couple of years. And having conversations with buyers all the time, Josh, people keep asking the question of when are homes going to become more affordable? In fact, we addressed that a couple episodes ago when we talked about housing affordability. But usually when somebody's asking that question, Josh, what they're really asking is, how do I get a deal on a property? How do I get a property for less than it's currently listed? So if home prices aren't going to change dramatically, right? If house prices aren't going to crash and they're just going to move sideways for the next couple of years, like you and I think is going to happen with regards to appreciation, you're not going to see a big swing up or a big swing down. You're just going to kind of see some moderate to little growth in most markets out there. So how do homes become more affordable? If wages aren't going to change substantially, if interest rates aren't going to change substantially, house prices stay where they are, how are we able to get a deal in this market? We talked about this last season in an episode when we talked about how to find some deals in the market, but today we're going to take it a little bit further, Josh, and talk not only about the deals in today's market, where are those deals? Are there deals, really? But more importantly, how do you find deals off market, right? You and I were trying to work on an off market deal, but we'll talk about how that came about, how I came across that deal because it never went to the MLS, why it didn't go to the MLS, and then just break it down for people out there that are looking for opportunities in this market. How do you create opportunities? That's really the question.
I like it. And that example of that property that you just came across and are representing the seller is a really good example to give people some insight of what that looks like and what a seller that does not want to put their home on the MLS looks like. So, Jeb, let's first start with listed homes and how you might be able to get a deal with a home that is listed for sale in the multiple listing service. So when we start that conversation, what I like to remind people of is the efficient market hypothesis, efficient market theory. And that basically says that all information has been assimilated by the market and prices of anything reflect that. Now, different markets are efficient to different degrees. So when I look at this, what is market efficiency? Market efficiency refers to the degree to which market prices reflect all available relevant information. If markets are efficient, then all information is already incorporated into prices, and so there's no way to beat the market. So what are we talking about today? How can you beat the market? How can you buy something for less than what the market would value it? So when we start with the MLS, Jeb, homes listed in the MLS are the most efficient that we can find. 25 years ago, 30 years ago, the multiple listing service published books once a month where you had to go to the realtor's office and
This is Real Estate Today, the #1 real estate show in America. Brought to you by the National Association of Realtors and its Realtor members in your neighborhood.
Welcome to Real Estate Today. Hi there, I'm Stephen Gasquet, and today we're zeroing in on one of the most important parts of buying or selling a house, one that can make or break the deal, and that is the offer. But first, let's go to the Real Estate Today newsroom with Bill Thompson. Hi, Bill.
Hi, Stephen. The Federal Reserve has raised short-term interest rates again by 1/4 percentage point, and they indicate they may not be done raising rates 9% in the fourth pace. And nationwide,
Home Services, Michigan Real Estate in Grand Rapids. Pat, welcome to Real Estate Today.
Thank you. I'm very glad to be here.
I am so glad you're with us. So, Pat, first of all, how's business in Michigan?
Well, it's interesting. I guess that would be the best thing to tell you. We are finding buyers coming out now a little more after kind of the shock of interest rates jumping a bit. So there's a little more inventory. So people are...
They're buyers in competitive situations to come in with their highest and best offer. Pat, what's that all about?
So often a seller will get a lot of showings and a lot of offers. They'll get 2 or 3 offers in a day. And sometimes people are just hunting for the possibility that they could buy something for less. Mainly this started with corporations like the banks back in the foreclosure day. The banks would get offers in, but they'd say, well, wait a minute. I know there's more buyers out there. I'm going to stop a minute and tell you that whoever really wants this, you have to commit at a time certain and a date certain and bring us your...
Back when people were getting 10, 20, or 30 offers, that was a big job going through all of them and figuring out which one was the best. But what if you just got one offer in today's market? Is that somehow even more challenging because that's all you've got?
Well, that is true. And sometimes that happens. I think it is a challenge because they have to mentally accept that.
This is Real Estate Today, the #1 real estate show in America. Brought to you by the National Association of Realtors.
In order to clinch a sale. A new report from Redfin shows that sellers gave concessions or offered incentives to buyers in about 42% of home sales in the fourth quarter of 2022. That's the highest share of any 3-month period in the survey's history. Here's Nest Seeker's international chief economist Aaron Sykes on Fox News about the adjustment occurring in the housing market.
We have sellers that still want 2021 peak of the market prices, and then we have buyers that want a discount. And I think the key is there's negotiability.
Now, these seller concessions may include credits for anything like new flooring or requests for repairs. Redfin reports that a record 22% of home sales in the fourth quarter included both a concession to a home buyer and a final sales price that was lower than the list price. The survey found home buyers may be gaining the most negotiating power in San Diego, Phoenix, Portland, Oregon, and Las Vegas. Even with more concessions, about half of Americans still say it's a great time to sell a home.